What's going on? Hit the subscribe, hit the like button. There we go. Hit the subscribe, hit the like button. If you like getting caught up with some news where we decipher, we try to read through the lines of how the mainstream media is twisting things. It's so funny because every news article I read always seems to be from the perspective from somebody who stands to profit off of it. I feel like most of these journalists are not writing for the benefit of their communities. They're not reporting for the benefit of people. I would say 90% of them. It seems like most of these people reporting are doing it not only for their paycheck, obviously it's their job, but for the greater good of those who will profit off the story. But then once in a while, you'll see some truth slice through that. And that's why I'm here, to bring you this show, to report on some of those things, and to take the articles where I believe they're twisting things and making people think like, man, I seen an article today that said, this is the deal that's making millionaires shop at TJ Maxx. And I thought, who is writing that? Is it Mr. TJ Maxx? Is that a guy? Is his name TJ Maxx? Is that like the dude that started TJ Maxx? Because I thought, if you're writing an article that says this is the item, the deal that is making millionaires shop at TJ Maxx, I thought, who's believing that? No fucking millionaires going to TJ Maxx. They probably don't even know it exists. Let's face it, that's for the white women who want to feel like a millionaire scoring a deal. But some of these articles, they're just so baffling that people consume it and gobble it up. So long story short, that's why I'm here. We're going to read these things from a different viewpoint. We're going to take them in and digest them with a new perspective. So hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification bell because I go live every weekday. Hit that thumbs up. Let's get in the algorithm. Let's get bigger than Billy DeFranco. What's his name? Philip DeFranco? Is that his name? That dude that regurgitates the news. Like, I was fascinated with him when he started on YouTube 25,000 years ago. At the dawn of man created YouTube. And Philly DeFranco does a very interesting thing. He just does a intense news show, but I don't know if anybody that's joining watches YouTube like regularly and maybe checks out like the Mr. Beasts and the Philly Billy, whatever his name is, DeFranco, who does like just a strictly daily news show. I think he works Monday through Thursday, and he just reports on news, but he always seems like his editors have fast forwarded him. Like at first, I think they were doing tight edits, fast forward to help everybody's ADD just pay attention to him so he can get those watch hours up. By the way, hit subscribe and the notification bell, hit the like button, and leave a comment in the chat. But Philly DeFranco, now if you watch him, wait till after the live stream, go check him out. It seems like he's taught himself to speak like this. If anybody remembers the Little Things Micro Machines, they were a toy a long time ago, and there was a guy that did the ads for him, and he would just talk like this, and he would speak as fast as he could. In fact, I believe he has a world record set for his fastest singing a song. And you can look that up, and I did it horribly because I'm not here to speak fast. And you can look up, YouTube's trying to get away from that, turning every kid into some ADD monster because they have to try to pay attention to all the edits and cuts, and it looks like they're fucking glitching. But Philly DeFranco, the last time I checked him out, the dude was speaking so fast, and I was like, bro, calm down. I don't think it's horrible to have a pause to see. I mean, maybe, I don't know, maybe I'll lose everyone watching right now because I fucking took a breath. But you know what? That's the part of society I don't like. We should be able to have a conversation. I should be able to speak like this without praying that the next word I say doesn't lose you. Look, I just lost somebody. There we go. That's my point. Well, if you left, you know what? This might not be for you because we're going to just have a conversation. We're going to talk about the news like regular people. I'm not going to spit news at you trying to spew it as fast as I can and hope you consume it all and then you can go to the next video. I'm not here to do that. If you're looking for that, go to Philly DeFranco, Billy DeFranco, whatever the fuck his name is. If you want to have a conversation about the news and really digest it, because that's the other thing that I respect Billy Philly Jesus, whatever his name is, News Jesus on YouTube. I respect him because he's doing it, and they figured out. He's like the Mr. Beast of news on here. And he just spits all this really quick fire stuff at you, and then he's gone. He gives you no well, what does this really mean? Let's look into it. And I'm just trying to explain. I'm going to get into 50 cents and 50s. I'm going to get into 50 Cent, and I'm going to get into this inflation news. I don't know if you've seen Target's dropping all the prices on everything. Surprise, inflation was a cover for corporate price fixing and greed. But I'm explaining this because I want more subscribers. I want to get bigger than Billy DeFranco. And I think we can do that by just having normal conversations about the news. I love my subscribers who come in here and speak in the chat and give me especially different points of opinion, differing opinions than mine. I love that, because that's really how we come to the best solution. It's not I'm right, you're wrong. It's like, how do we see things from different perspectives, different walks of life, and how do we get to the net good for society, for the benefit of our community? Because guess what? When we're divided and we're fighting, that's what they want. They look at all of us that's working every day as stupid, and as long as they keep us divided, we'll argue amongst ourselves until we turn, until the end of time. And as soon as we learn to collaborate and cooperate and organize, we can really focus on the main villains, the ones who are trying to steal all of our hard-earned money under the guise of inflation, XYZ. And I'm going to talk about 50 Cent because he's the hero we need. It just so happens that when something benefits a celebrity, but also is a good for the community, we can all prosper as long as the celebrity, pursues it. And that's what I believe is happening with this 50 Cent case. And we're going to go way back to 2006 when 50 Cent started, when the beef between 50 and Diddy started. But just to explain again, because if people are just joining, I believe with your help, if you subscribe, hit the notification bell, I believe that with your help, only by your help, we can get bigger than Billy DeFranco, the YouTube Jesus of news. And we can show him that there's that's all it takes. It takes one channel to pave the way. That's all it takes, is one new channel to show Mr. Beast that you don't have to do a video surviving in a room for $1 million every day. Like, my daughter was even arguing with me. She's like, Dad, it's good content. I'm like, honey, it's lazy. He has the greatest, you understand, he employs the greatest minds to come up with these ideas, to edit everything, to make sure everything's done. Go look at any job posting that Mr. Beast puts up. They state that they have the greatest in the world. And he's coming out, he's regurgitating the same idea. I have no problem with, his art form, what he's doing. I'm just saying it's lazy, okay? If I came out here every day just telling you I'm going to survive in a room and give my friend $1 million, you'd be like, bro, stop doing that. Do something new. That's all it is. And as soon as someone comes along and displaces him, which YouTube won't allow that to happen, but I think with Billy DeFranco, that could happen. And I need your help. So hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, because if you want to have just discussions about news, not only news, entertainment, weird things, what's behind you? Like, no, seriously, what is that? I don't know. What's behind me? A car? A house? Fat Boy sticks. God, the other thing I really like, and I know there's a lot of people that troll me and just make fun of me, and I'm fine with that. It's okay. It's part of the growing process. And I'm not saying you are Fat Boy sticks. What I was going to point out is, the people that jump up into the chat, I absolutely love your names. Fat Boy sticks. I think YouTube is the greatest place to I don't want to say harvest, because you shouldn't steal anyone's name, but to find the most creative names, you got to go to YouTube. Fat Boy Sticks, my friend Thando Jocks, Seha, all these people who usually are up in the live streams, they have the absolute, Raquizi, the Munch God, was chatting with me yesterday. These people, my God, if I ever get to be big enough YouTuber, I want to have a meetup, because I need to meet some of the people that came up with these names. I am in awe of you as someone who wants to be more creative. Some of these names are just flat out I need to know your inspiration. And that's what I mean. There are very creative people here on YouTube. And it just feels like they're all fitting into the one YouTube box. And that's what sucks. So my point being is, Philly DeFranco brings you news, but it's not like this. My channel, we're going to discuss it from a totally different perspective. I'm not just here to repeat what the news story said like he does and spit it out like the Micro Machines guy. I want to bring it to you and have a discussion. You will have a big channel heart. Fat Boy Sticks. That means a lot to me, man. I've been doing this YouTube thing for a while, and I got to be honest, just a little personal stuff about me. I can't figure out what my niche is, you know, because I love so many things, and that's the hardest thing for me. People told me, like, throw this channel away, start a new one, and just do one thing. And I'm like, no. I live near Salem, Mass right now. I love going to these haunted locations, so I have haunted videos on my channel. I love writing comedy, so I try to do that with my Not Weekend Update parody news show. I love going live because I think this is the most important thing, because the news I watch on YouTube is either mainstream media or people like Billy DeFranco. And this Billy DeFranco dude, I implore you. I know I shouldn't be doing this. I'm not good at YouTube, but you need to watch Billy or Philly, whatever the fuck his name is. You need to watch Philly and just watch him and see if he's talking extra fast or feels like he's on fast forward. You tell me, and then come back and leave it in the comments, okay? You tell me, because I'm not making this up. Like, I point this out to a lot of people. I'm like, it's weird. Like, all of us already have ADD from having phones all the time. People don't need to be spewing news so fast in hopes that they can keep your attention. And I see I went from 20 people to 6. I get it. There are people that just tell me, and I lose them. But you know what? The people that I've gained, I've always talked, my buddy who produced the series for A&E, he's a producer, he works in TV, and his show exploded at one point, but then it kind of became a cult classic. And me and him would have these long conversations because now he's an independent movie maker. And he would say, I wouldn't trade the top tier fame for my audience. I would never trade it. Never in the world would I trade my audience for, being like a Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. And he said that because his audience loved what he did. It wasn't that they didn't critique him. It wasn't that they didn't say you could do better or have the normal critiques that every creator should have. That's why I welcome stuff. As long as you're not being mean or racist. There were people writing racist comments the other day. I was like, just get the fuck out of here. Bro, wrong channel to be saying racist stuff to. As long as they're not doing that, I always try to take into account, like, could I do something better? And that always impacted me, that this dude who could have like top tier A-list celebrity fame was like, I'm good where I'm at because I love my audience. And that has always driven me in YouTube. Like, yeah, I get it that they say you should just do a niche. You should talk really fast. You need to have a quick edit at every 3 seconds so the eyes don't blink or whatever Mr. Beast says. And I've thought, I don't want that. I do not want that. I want people like Fat Boy Sticks. Fucking love your name. And I need to go look at your avatar. I don't know what your avatar is, but I just adore these people on YouTube. I love creative types. I just love some of the people that have joined this channel. Fat Boy Sticks, you are the niche. Thank you. You know what that means? God damn, I've been having a rough week, and you're just amazing. Thank you. Because I don't hear that stuff often. It is very easy for people on YouTube to be spewing out the hate, but to hear that is really, it's inspiring. So I hope you subscribed, please. And I know I'm taking such a long time. I think I lost everyone that had joined this, but you know what? To me, it doesn't matter, because if I got one person like Fat Boy Sticks in here that believes in what I'm doing, that's who I'm here for, man. And if we find enough of those single people, guess what? I get a big channel. And I'd rather get a big channel, bigger than Billy DeFranco is doing it correct, where I don't have to constantly feel like I need to speak faster so nobody walks away. And I'd rather have a channel where we could talk about the news, where we could talk about personal stuff, where we could dive into the reality of YouTube. That's what I always thought was fascinating. I'm like, Billy DeFranco, you have a huge channel and you never do any like not behind the scenes, but like speaking about how you got to where you are, what's affecting you in your life. Like, that's the fascinating stuff. When you see Mr. Beast behind the scenes stuff, there's nothing more fascinating to see how he got to where he is. And I don't want to not include that. So you're going to get some of that too. I hope that's a good pitch for people to hit subscribe and the notification bell. The other thing is I go live every weekday, okay? So now let's dive into 50 Cent, because this is really important. I think it just happens that the community, our society, needs and wants align with 50 cents at this point. 50 Cent, apostrophe S. because 50 Cent is going hard at Diddy. And we need people. We need, and that's the thing, like society, Twitter, the internet can all troll these things, but they're not like a spear point. And when you need a spear point, and usually that has to come in the form of somebody that has money, because in America, there's no free speech. It's pay as you pay to play. So the more money you have, obviously the bigger the platform, the more celebrity, the more weight, clout you have, the more influence you have, right? We need that to happen in these instances. That's why you see, just for example, when Fox News gets up in a bunch, you see these, bottom of the barrel scrapers desperate for any kind of limelight, like Kid Rock jumping out and shooting cans of Bud Light, which, by the way, if you watched that happen or remember the Bud Light protest and Kid Rock was, shooting beer cans, there were people, this is the beautiful thing about the internet, there were people that going to his bar in Nashville ordering Bud Light. So they were like, Kid Rock, you're saying you're against Bud Light by shooting the cans, but you go to your bar and you're still selling them. So you're still profiting off them. So they're just phonies. We need people like 50 Cent who, if you don't know, 50 Cent has been beefing with P. Diddy for Jesus, as long as I can remember. It started back in 2006. The other thing is I always try to leave the links in the description so you could read about all this stuff yourself. Vibe magazine, AP News, all these things, they're in the description. YouTube's been deleting it on me lately, which sucks. So I try to go back and put all the links back in. So if they're not there in any older videos or even this one when I save it, my apologies. I do it every time. I go out of my way. I save all the links in my notes and I put them in the description. I don't know why YouTube is doing that to me. If you're a creator and you're having that same issue, please let me know, because it's driving me nuts, because I try to always let people read whatever I'm discussing so they can come to their own conclusions. So anyways, 50 Cent Diddy, back 2006. 50 Cent was just coming on the scene. Diddy, if you know Diddy, he's been at it since the 90s with Biggie. And 50 basically, when he started and got big, was like, I believe he knows who helped kill Big, B.I.G. He thought he was profiting off of Big. Well, he didn't think. Let's be honest. Everybody knew Puffy was profiting off of Biggie's death, writing songs about it, pretending to more, like totally playing the victim. And it made him tons of money. And I don't know, I should have looked into this, but I don't know if Christopher Wallace's mom, Violet or Violetta Wallace, Biggie's mom, got the money or the royalties and the publishing to his music, but that would be interesting to look into. I'll figure that out. So anyways, 50 Cent basically calls out Diddy on everything. He's like, you're a scumbag. He didn't say that. This is my translation. You're a scumbag. You're making money off of him. He thinks he knows that Diddy knows about Tupac's shooting, which have all come to light that like most of this stuff is very true. And obviously you don't get to say things to Diddy without him getting butthurt and, whatever he tries to do. He thinks he's big enough that you shouldn't be able to approach him, which is also my issue with YouTube celebrities. Like, the reason you're big is not only your talent, but that people respect your talent and appreciate it. So don't act like you're too big to shake hands. So 2006, the beef with P. Diddy and Puffy. And there's one thing I'm glad about. One thing I'm happy about is that I'm alive to this day to see somebody get arrested for Tupac's murder, to see the downfall of Diddy. And 50 Cent, once the Little Rod accusations came out about 50 Cent, he had announced, must have had this in the works, that he had a mini docuseries ready to expose Diddy called Diddy Do It. I think that's still the title. Maybe it was a working title, called Diddy Do It. And just recently, just a couple days ago, it got sold to Netflix. So I'm guessing we'll get a date on when it's coming out, and you better believe that I'll talk about that. I wonder if I could do a live watch. If you know about that, put it in the chat or the comments. I'd love to watch that docuseries live on YouTube, just to see what people are thinking about this. Nobody's for Diddy, right? Nobody can support that clown. I know there's a lot of celebrities that have associated with him that will probably just be quiet about it, but that just tells you how complicit they are. So anyway, so 50 Cent essentially still calling him out. And if you follow 50 on any social media, I follow him on Twitter, he's hilarious because he has no problem taking shots at himself. Self-deprecating humor is his thing. He just called himself like a chubby fat boy with one of the pictures TMZ used. but he also goes hard at Diddy, and his name is precise. So this, it seems weird, but 50 Cent really is emerging as a hero, keeping the pressure on Diddy, not letting it fall out of the limelight, not letting him kind of disappear into the background. And especially when like he does an apology, or his son, I don't know if you heard his son's rap that he released here on YouTube, his son King Combs, who's just an absolute poser, just the worst kind of human, released a rap trying to diss the cops, saying we hit all the stuff at the neighbors, you didn't check. It's people like 50, who can call out Diddy and his son, saying like, what are you, an idiot? And do it with weight. Because if 50 Cent is saying something, a man who's been shot how many times? 5, 6, 7 times? I don't know how many times 50 Cent been shot, but somebody who's survived things, who's lived through it, who's the real McCoy, if they can say it, then it carries much more weight than, the internet just trolling these people. So it just so happens, and I think 50... Listen, I didn't know much about 50 before this. I loved his music when I was coming up out of college and first in the radio career. You could not walk by a bar without hearing In the Club, okay? When I went to Cancun, it seemed like In the Club was on a loop, and the only song that went in between was It's Your Birthday. So I heard 50 Cent everywhere. But I think 50's a good dude. Seeing all this and seeing that he's going to donate all the proceeds to domestic violence victims from his docuseries, like, he seems very legit. And again, I never met none of these people. I'm just going off of my vibes. The vibes I'm picking up. But my whole point in talking about this is like, it's important that sometimes our what we need as a community, as the working class, as people, just everyday people, we need our things that benefit us to align with celebrities, the powerful, the wealthy. That's how you see things get done. Most of the time, powerful and wealthy, they just want more profits. They, like this Target story I'm going to talk about. And when they just want more profits, it doesn't matter at what cost. They'll pollute our rivers, our air. They'll turn our neighborhoods into industrial zones. They don't care. At any cost, they'll ruin our absolute... You just look at the rental market. Because they can make a profit on Airbnbs, nobody can buy a home anymore. Communities have been broken up, and they don't care. They do not care. But sometimes, when our needs align with the wants of the powerful, we get a greater good. We get a net good. The other thing I wanted to mention was this Target thing. I don't know if you've seen, Target said they're going to lower the price on like 5,000 items. They said like milk, soda, bread, cheese, diapers, Clorox wipes. I forget all the things. And they're already starting to say the prices, like bagels went from $4.19 to $3.79. And they're just doing it just because they're doing it. And I want you to understand that this was the cover. The cover was, oh, inflation. They're very smart. They have high-powered lawyers. They have teams of people working on this, okay? Just like Mr. Beast has teams of people to create ideas, even though he just keeps regurgitating the same one. Survive and win money. Survive, survive, survive. Everything's a survive or crush with a hydraulic press. Okay? He does some other stuff too. I'm just giving him a hard time. But Target, these corporations that have been charging us more, their whole thing is under the guise of, well, they gave people money. They don't talk about the business bailouts. They don't talk about that. But they thought this was the perfect time to say they gave people money, people will blame each other and poor people for the inflation, and we can raise the costs, which is what they did. Target raised prices on everything. Everything. And now just magically, and it's not magically, if you were on the last earnings calls they have quarterly earnings calls, and the past few earnings calls, like for McDonald's, Target, they'll announce things. They'll say like, we're losing money from the poor people demo, the demographic of people who make under $100,000 or whatever. And these were real things that they were talking about. McDonald's did this. That's why McDonald's news is they're reintroducing a $5 meal. $5 meal, what happened to a $1 menu McDonald's? And for all the people who say, oh, you want to pay $10 for a Big Mac, we're already paying it. And guess what? The minimum wage hasn't gone up. Okay? So all those are myths. Stop buying into them. You're just helping rich people get richer. You're not helping your neighbors. You're not helping the kids. We should all be wanting to help the kids. I'm scared for the kids. So anyways, Target just magically announces they're going to drop the price on all these things. How can they magically do that? Read in between the lines. What that says is, we jacked up the prices for more profits. We made tons of profits, but now we're cutting out people from being able to afford necessities, diapers, milk, bread, like eggs. Like, they're like, we're just going to drop the price. Why? Because they fucking can. Because this whole thing was a scam. We all got taken. Well, not everybody. There's a lot of people I think that know. And if you notice, if you budget things, like we have to budget, you notice how much things jumped up within the span of a year. I mean, the price of food is... The other thing I linked in the description is a article with the video of a guy. He shops at Whole Foods, but get over that. It's all about, just the price of food. But I highly suggest you click on that link, because he goes to Whole Foods and he says, what I paid in 2019 was $87 for this amount of food. And then he does it again in like 2021. The dates might be off, but it's not far apart. He says, now this same food costs $117. Shit didn't get more expensive. Don't talk to me about oil and transportation costs. What I want you to do is go onto the earnings calls of these companies and look at the profits, the profit margins, how much they're actually making, and not having the cost of things go up, the transportation, the oil, the cost of food. I want you to look at the profit margins. That's what it's called. Go research that and then come back and tell me, oh, they had to charge us more. And why would you defend that? The people who own Target, people who own Whole Foods aren't struggling to keep the heat on. They're not the ones they don't even shop at those stores. They don't worry. They have shoppers who get their food. Okay? Why would you defend them? Irregardless of whether they're doing it for whatever cost, like, why would you defend them? Don't defend these people who have all their wants and needs met. People used to ask me and say, oh, what do you say? People should be capped on what they can pay. And I would say, well, not capped. And I couldn't figure out exactly what I wanted to answer to that. And now I have. It's not that they should be capped, but if their wealth comes at the expense of poor people, then yes, cap their fucking wealth. Tax the shit out of them, which we did in Massachusetts. And now community college is free. School lunches are free. A bunch of things. And we just taxed 4% on everything over $1 million. Isn't that incredible? We can have it nice. It's if we all decide to come together and want to have a better future for not only us, but our kids. We need to stop thinking so selfishly. Well, if they get that, what about me? Like the school debt stuff, or, we got to start thinking like, how can we all help each other? Because if we can figure out a way that if I can afford groceries, that most likely means you could afford groceries, or you can afford more groceries. What happened? Like, people like to brag about America being the greatest, but what's the American dream now? That you can hopefully find a place to rent? It's disgusting. And the way things are going, if people don't start to wake up and stop being selfish, or stop talking about immigrants or whatever the fuck it is, and just start realizing, like, the rich people. I seen a dude with a bumper sticker that said Trump 2024, take America back. I really wanted to ask him, take it back from who? Who are we taking America back from? The wealthy own this country. If you telling me that poor people are somehow devising the rules that disenfranchises them, you're a fucking moron. Okay, let's be very frank. If you think we need to take the country back from someone, you are an idiot. The only people we need to take it back from are the politicians and the wealthy. Trump is a political wealthy person. He grew up with a gold fucking toilet. Don't tell me we need to take it back from poor people. The wealthy people set the taxes. The wealthy people make the laws. They buy the judges. They are hand in pocket with the corporations. We do not need to take this country back from anybody but the elites, the politicians and the wealthy, okay? So if I see that bumper sticker, it drove me nuts. There's some young white dude probably just wanting to be edgy. But I'm like, you understand we need to take it back from these politicians. From the ones who are effing us over and saying, blame your neighbor. So dumb. But kids are young. I get it. All right, please hit the subscribe button. Again, I believe we can beat Philly DeFranco. We could get a better news channel here on YouTube, an entertaining one, hopefully sometimes funny, always sarcastic. I believe we could do that, but I can't do it without your help. So it would mean the world to me if you could hit subscribe and go live. Every weekday, I also release other videos, paranormal ones, reaction ones, satire, comedy videos. I'm trying a comedy. Calm down, everybody who says, I thought you were a comedian. Be funny. I'll be funny. I just got to get into that groove. It might take me 10, 15 years. So please hit subscribe, the notification bell, so when I do go live, you can join me, and hit that thumbs up button so we can get into the algorithm and beat Philly DeFranco. I don't like that he talks like the Micro Machines guy at you with the news. I think news shouldn't be digested like that. I think news should be consumed slower so people can understand what you're saying. And the fact that he's throwing it at you, really, it makes me sad about society, that's the way Philly DeFranco believes he has to position the news to keep people's attention. I believe differently. I believe we can have a conversation, but here I'm live and I had a ton of viewers at one point, and now I'm down to like none. But you know what? I'll say it again. The 2 people that do subscribe, and then we build upon that, and thank you to everybody who has been subscribing, gaining a ton of subscribers the past month. Thank you for joining the family. Thank you for joining in solidarity. It means the world to me. But I'd rather get the 1 or 2 that are here for the reason I'm talking about than a ton of people because I spoke so fast that you thought like you couldn't look away. And I was saying sentences before you could even blink. So of course you have to pay attention because you don't know what the next thing I'm going to say is. Chance taking chances. You look like that guy that sold me fentanyl back in 2020. Nah, man, it wasn't me. Was that you? How have you been, man? I'm telling you, it wasn't me, brother. I've been clean and sober since the mid-2000s. Over a decade, bro. If you were alive in the late 90s, but fentanyl wasn't around then. All right? And it's sad that that's, the new thing. When I was growing up, it was different drugs. Oxys, and before that, it was just always been a mess. So why do you think they let these corporations pump this stuff into our communities? Look at the Oxy epidemic, that Sackler family, they're scumbags. None of them went to jail, and a lot of friends of mine died. Again, taking chances. I love the YouTubers' names on here. You guys are the most creative people in society. Sometimes the meanest, but goddamn, and funniest. You look like the guy that sold me fentanyl. That's hilarious. Taking chances. Please subscribe. I need funny people like you. I need people with your name making comments like that, because that makes my day. That is hilarious, because that's some shit I would say. Taking chances. Please subscribe to my channel. You are my audience. I need you as a subscriber. Fucking people's hero right there. Was that you? How have you been met? Bro, you have my brand of comedy. And I think that was even funnier than anything I did on this live stream. Holy shit. Taking and the name. I gotta wrap this up, but please, Chance, do you do YouTube? You should be doing YouTube, man. With comments like that, that's fucking brilliant. Holy shit. It's the little things in life right now. I've been having a real tough time. My family's going through it, so those little things make every day just a little bit better. Thank you to Fat Boy Sticks, who was up in here. Thank you to Chance Taking Chances. And please hit that subscribe button, man. Hit the like button. Jump in the chat like Chance Taking Chances. We're going to get bigger than Philly DeFranco. I believe it. I believe YouTube has a niche, has a path for someone like me who isn't going to speed talk you to death so I can get in 6 news stories before you blink your eyes once. That we're going to just discuss things. And we're going to have the funniest ass people up in the chat. Love it. Absolutely love it. You look like the guy that told me. Fucking awesome. Holy shit. Alright, I'm out of here. Don't forget, everything I talked about, I put it down in the description. Unless YouTube deletes it on me. That's the other thing. Conspiracy. Put on your tinfoil hats, folks. I think YouTube's deleting my stuff so I stay out of the algorithm. Because I always put the links in the description. And I go back to check on them or add stuff to it or write a description. And it's all disappeared. Sucks. So sometimes it takes extra work, but we're doing it. Thank you guys for watching. Salute.